Okay, so can anyone remember what we've done? We started this a long time ago. So we're designing a battery backup grid connected system, and it was to give us 15 kilowatt hours per day with 4 kilowatts maximum power, and about 33.33 amps maximum load. That's what we calculated. And the last time we had a lot of discussion about the inverter, but decided we'll go with this 4,000 watt, 40 amp, 48 volts DC, 120 to 40 volts AC inverter. Only it didn't have a charger with it. Then after much discussion, we had several types of batteries and decided on this 40 volts, 120 ampere hour, the one that was 1,500 US dollars each. We connect them in series, but also noting that the 100 ampere hour is also good, although slightly more expensive for the 5 batteries. So then we came down now to working on the array sizing, but I think before we did that, we need to look for a charge controller. Are you hearing me?
Yes, miss.
Okay, so um, the elements we need to consider when we're looking for a charge controller. So I'm not talking if you're not hearing me. I'm looking for the slides. Okay, so okay, so um we need we need like about 4,000 watts. So we need to look for a charge controller that could handle. So I wanted to look back again at our the drawing of our system. Right. So our array is going straight to our charge controller. So our charge controller has to be able to handle the output of of the array. So we're looking here for a charge controller that could handle 4,000 watts. So as per usual, I'm asking you to go online and to look for such a charge controller. We really say we want 40 amps, but we may not find any of 40 amps. So is the class?
What charge controller is that what you're asking for, miss?
Yes, and see what DC voltage it can handle too.
Miss, apparently from using the internet from working, I'm blocked from visiting sites that do shopping and so on. So I can't look at that right now.
Okay.
Yeah, they asked me what I was doing on Amazon the other day, and I was late for classes, and they just blocked me. And Linux
Okay.
one. Yeah.
Okay, so there's some others there. There's Shipasa, there's Sohail. Um,
Yes, I have one.
you found one?
Yeah, I have 4000 watt, 24 to 48-volt solar inverter with MMT charging control.
So you're getting the inverter plus the charger. So we could take that, but remember we've looked at an inverter before. So we
Yeah.
just looking for a charge controller on its own. But
Okay.
when I give you the design to do, you can choose whether you want to do it separately or together. But we're
Okay.
doing it separately.
Oh,
Miss, I got a 4000 watt, 12 volt, 24 volt, 48 volt to 20 volt wind solar hybrid charge controller.
So let me hear that again. I'm gonna write
Um, 4000,
4,000.
12 volt, 24 volt, 48 volt to 20 volt wind solar hybrid charge controller with auto regulator.
So is it that you gotta choose your voltage or you that one could give you that all those combinations? You gotta choose which one you want.
Miss, I think this one could give you all the combinations because they only got one picture and $389.26. It's Amazon, Miss.
12 volts, 24 volts.
48 volts to 20 volts, wind solar hybrid charge controller with auto regulator.
And I'm gonna put all of that. So there was some instructions that I'm gonna look at. Okay, so I'm waiting to see if anybody else can find one. Our lesson before had said something about uh, making sure that the array is not rated higher than this controller. So we're gonna take a look at that when we're looking at our arrays. But the voltage that we choose will have to do with what we're going to be getting out of our array, right? This charge controller, when we set up the arrays, so whatever voltage we choose, let me put it that way, it will determine, how many arrays we connect in series and in parallel to give us what we want. So anyone else has another controller? So that was Sohail, right?
no, man, that was shift.
Okay. Okay, just about 5 more minutes and then we're going to go on. Okay, so let's use this for the while. And so we want to take a look now at some panels. Let's go. I don't know, there are just two persons here. But we want to look at available solar panels. And in looking at that, so we say from our above, we want to have trying to work this out. We want 670.3 kilowatt hours. I think we've already decided that we want this from 4 kilowatts. That's what I'm trying to work. Okay, so the requirement is 670.3 kilowatt hours per month. Okay, so I have some data here. I have some data here that says the lowest average generation in GT is 114 kilowatt hours per kilowatt per month. Size of installation is 670.3 divided by 114, and that's equal to
5.9.
yes, 5.9 or 6 kilowatts. We want an array size. You're going to have to go back and just think to see if we're doing it right, of 6 kilowatts. because our charge controller said 4 kilowatts, we probably need a larger. Anyhow, let's just go on. We're gonna start this out. So we're looking now to see what panel. Yes, so they had looked at this here. So I really want a 6 kilowatts charge controller, not a 4 kilowatts. But can we just take a look for the modules and see what we have? So what we need from the modules is its power rating, its open circuit voltage, its power rating, and its open circuit voltage. And then we're gonna look at our charge controller and make sure that we can get that voltage out. We're not higher than the voltage for the charge controller. So I'm gonna stop sharing here.
Any solar panel or I want a specific one, like the thin film or the mono?
So are we looking at cost or
I guess. Yes.
yes? So I would say just the normal one. And I think the thin film is more expensive, right? So
Yeah.
I'm just put this on here to see the characteristics that we can get. And if I could get from you 1 or 2 types. Uh, Okay, so I'm not getting cooperation from this class of 15 persons.
Let's say get the panel from Wari. Get the
Mhm.
RPs. Yeah. The WSM three, this is 330 what?
Okay, so let me just take this off and I'll put down the data you give me.
Yeah. And this is $20,661. This is excluding shipping, right?
Tell me about the specification of the solar panel, please.
Oh my
It's,
goodness. Okay, no, what you need here is, let me just go back.
is the model number is WSM 330.
This is our first WSM 230.
Yeah, that's the model number. The maximum power is 330.
230 watts.
Yeah.
The open circuit voltage.
The open circuit voltage is 40.71 volts.
Okay.
And the short circuit current is 10.12 amps.
Okay, so we could take one more.
It's and the
Exactly.
price is 20,606. Sikat sa 21,000.
This is G dollars.
This is ganyan kasi. The it was 0.280 euros per watt. So
So
this is
it's
excluding shipping.
$22,000, we could average it, we could round it off.
Yeah,
Of course, you haven't added shipping and all of that.
right. That's what I'm saying.
I think that the score is FOB. Okay, just one more. So I think they're saying that this array must not at any time be higher than the open circuit voltage mustn't be higher than what the charge control is rated at. Okay, anybody has another one? So here, Shiv,
No, me find on it. I found up on Amazon, but it looked too rated, so I just changed it.
so what we need to do with the panels is determine a series, a series combination of the OC voltage to suit a charge controller rating. And a parallel combination to give the 6,000 watts. So immediately we're seeing, well, I shouldn't say immediately. Let me just check something a minute. But we need at least about 20, right?
MS, you need about 20.
Okay, so I found what I'm looking for. It says that the PV arrays must not be capable of generating voltages or currents greater than the charge controller rating. So just assume that we were able to get this 6,000 watts with the 220 volts, and we wanted the series connection to be 220 volts. I would say that we would use 5 in series. Anyone following me? 5 by 40 will just give us 200 volts. So
Yeah, Miss 5.
so if we say using the WSM 330 above and putting a charge controller X of 220 volts. Okay, so 20 though would give us a little bit more than 620 would give 660, 6,600. Okay, so 5 panels in series give
Miss,
Mhm.
students have blocked out, right, Miss?
Okay. Okay, so I'm going to save this page and send it. So I think this really is the last thing that we need to do, except unless we wanted to. Okay, so programming the inverter. This is as far as I would expect you to go in terms of the assignment in determining the load. Well, in this case, we were given the load and the voltages, the current rating. Choose the inverter. I don't know about this 4,000 watts. It had said that the maximum power of the load would be 4,000. We got to double check these things. We come up with some batteries, and we've come up with the charge controller. We only have one. I don't know. Perhaps we could take another look for a charge controller with 6,000 watts. I don't know, but we don't need to spend more time. I think you know what you do. So, and we've seen that 520 of the panels that we have looked at will give us that. So just need to double check to make sure that we haven't sized anything wrongly. Perhaps the inverter sizing. Okay, so any questions? That was the sizing at 3600 watt inverter had been selected.
Must be considering the mounting system and the cabling and stuff.
No, I know the question said that, but no. But this question here, perhaps what we could consider though, so is a little system electrical schematic.
You can do
And
a
then,
line diagram.
yes,
Okay.
and then I did take a look at this PV watt. So the PV watt is really very simple calculator. And I noticed that you just put where you are, and it didn't, it just wanted to know where you are. It didn't give to, oh, right. It said what type of, you just need to put in the kilowatts. And if it was a normal type of panel, or let me see if I could perhaps bring that up. It looked a little to me to be just a little too simple. Okay, so you see my screen. All I put in here was Georgetown, Georgtown. So it was able to give me longitude, latitude, and longitude. Let me go down and see what else this is about. Okay, so going a little further. And here it wanted my, so if we set, it seems to be standard at 4, if we set 6, then it says standard, premium, or thin film. So we stick to standard. Fixed or open rack. So you can see it gives you tracking, backtracking, axis tracking. And this here, it's how it's calculating the losses. So it's showing you what is the default system losses. Let's close this. Tilt, angle, azimuth. So when we just go to the next one, so it's giving us this information about where we are. So this is a lot more than we said, 9,000. That design would give us 9,076 kilowatt hours per year. So we wanted really, well, 784. We wanted about 8,000 kilowatt hours. So I think this is a nice little something. Yeah. If we go down a little further, standard fixed open rack, 14% losses. I don't know why that's 0. So this is one This is one of the programs that you could just put in your data and see how good or how bad your design is. I don't know if it would, but it's gonna just be a ratio. I think if you were to put 5, it's just 5/6, I would think. Okay, so even asking you to find a local install, I think I clicked on that. Okay, so I'm going to put out the uh, the assignments. I'll probably show you what it's looking like. Okay, so this is what I have here. Choose your own home or otherwise and design an interactive solar system with batteries sized to provide power to the specified loads. Determine the specification. Let me add on cost for each of the following, no, so not the cost and the so not the cost for the loads, but the inverter. So if you could either use an inverter charge control, so put batteries here. The charge control, if it separates the array and the modules. So I am thinking of taking this out. I'm not sure. Because the balance system is quite involved. Draw a simple electrical diagram of your system. And then I've added up upon completion of the design, run PV1 or any other software and show the performance. So I'm going to just fiddle with this a little bit and then put it on.
Miss, you gotta pick out the electrical loads cost in there? Or we
Right.
just
So,
landscape?
right. So I probably think it out because we don't want anything on your electrical load. So that's why I added relevant costs. So perhaps I should put this in clearly. Okay. And this here, so perhaps here too, here is perhaps you could just indicate you need wiring. I don't know. I think about this because this is very involved. So I want to show you, I don't seem to have it here. Are you seeing what are you seeing? Are
Yes,
you
I'm
seeing
Miss. Yes, I'm
the same one?
Yeah, Miss.
All right. Okay, so this is the last one I want to put up. Form groups of 3 persons, choose a topic. You can choose your own topic if it's not listed. Discuss topic and divide into distinct sections. Prepare a paper to submission by 29th of November. So I say cutting and pasting is not allowed. Prepare a group presentation of your paper. And these are the topics: fuel cells, energy storage, geothermal, microgrids, concentrated solar, utility inverters, biofuels, and energy efficiency, electric vehicles. So I'm hoping to post these two today to consider it. Just take a last look at what I have. Okay, so this is just to let you know what's upcoming.
Excuse me, Miss, the last one is a separate assignment.
Right. So I've got two assignments here. One is a personal one, individual, and one is a group assignment. So you got to choose your group members and choose your topic and let me know what topic you've chosen. So, and it's expected that, so did I say anything about the first come, first serve basis? Because I want a separate topic for each group.
Miss, how much persons in a group you want?
How many?
How many persons in a group?
3. I think the class has 28 persons. I'm not sure.
Miss, I don't know if you're talking, but you muted, huh?
Yes, I had someone come in the office, so that's why I muted myself. I'm just getting the, the last
Okay, all right.
set of slides to show you. Yeah.
Miss, so when we could point out about the assignment, the last assignment, in terms of the topic, when we could choose and submit the group names.
Sorry, I'm talking to myself. As soon as I put it on Moodle.
Okay, Miss.
Okay, so this is the last bit we're gonna do on solar. And this is on GA with tie systems. So I'm not gonna go through all of this. I've had a lot of this. Okay, so I could speak a little bit about this, the electricity market. And I think persons may not be aware that in the similar way that there is a stock market that you can trade on and buy and sell, there's an electricity market where independent power producers would bid to supply power to the utility. So I have here that utilities are no longer vertically integrated monopolies. So the example or the analogy is with the telephone system, where the telephone system was a monopoly for many, many years. And then there was uh, they made it legal, made the policy to break up that monopoly and to bring more players in the market. So this happened in the States and in other Western countries. And we know that, or perhaps you have an idea that there are always wars between these telephone companies trying to get customers. So because of the technology, this thing is easier done, I would say, with the telecommunications company, especially that you don't necessarily need hardwire to communicate, to send for the system to operate. It's a little different with the electricity because up to now we need hardwire to send power to customers. So if players come into the market, they wouldn't have the infrastructure to necessarily sell power to individuals. So the first thing that happened with the power company is that they invited independent investors to bid to sell power. And in the Western countries and the more developed countries, many times people came on the market with gas turbines because they were the cheaper ones to install and to be able to sell. But with the renewable energy also taking off, persons would be building solar plants or wind plants and joining this market and bidding to sell power to the grid. And in terms of bidding, and we did look at the levelized cost of electricity, you're bidding and saying, well, okay, I could sell power between this and this time for such a cost. And if you're the cheapest person, they would ask you to do it. Of course, with solar and also with wind, you have to have some certainty that you will have the energy, right? Because you're bidding to sell so much kilowatt hours as required. So a lot of stuff going on in the electricity market. So just wanted to share about this. So because of that, forecasting has become very important. And it says here, since partially shaded solar array can lose 70% of their capacity within seconds, lots of investment is going on into being able to determine what is the weather going to be like and what type of power, how much power can be had. To the extent that they're even looking at rooftop solar, they're looking at individual rooftop solars from residences, knowing where their location, are they tilted at the right angle, to give power, and a lot of details in terms of being able to know how much renewable energy you could get from the system. So this is going to go very far, as the attempt is not to depend on large remote power stations, but to have the stations scattered in the network where the power is required. So let me throw this out to you. What's the difference between what would be the advantages of having several small stations or several small units generating power locally as opposed to larger units generating power, let's say, remotely? What's the advantage?
Yes, I didn't hear the question properly, miss. Kind of break it up.
Yes, so I'm breaking up.
On my end, miss, I'm not sure about the other.
Yeah, let's just don't bother. I just wanted to show some graphs. So hopefully you can hear me. So when the GA installed their grid-tied system, they connected it to, I can't remember what the place is, but they were able to collect this data of the power that's being generated almost on a minutely basis by the system. So this is what we may call a good day, where in addition to some of the spikes, the downward spikes, you can see that the power is almost, symmetrical about noon, and really is a good day. This is also another good day. So what this is showing here is that this GA grid, the green meant that it was selling power to the utility. This here is a case where this is an even better day. The curve under the white is what the curve that's looking white, that area is the generation of solar energy. But this is what the day can be like, well, where just not smooth, it's just up and down, depending, I suppose, on cloud, on weather patterns and things like that. And this here is a distribution of the energy that was generated by the solar system. So I don't know why I don't have anything here. But this is just the graphs of, there's nothing there, of energy generation from the solar system, this GA grid tie. And from there, a data that shows the average kilowatt hour per kilowatt. So when we looked at the PV watts, we're also able to see, perhaps we should have taken a look at what was the average kilowatt hour per kilowatt of installed solar energy. So this is what was calculated from the data produced by the GA system. I think this kind of shows that here in Ghana, you can more or less it's not very what's the word I'm trying to use? You get a good average from your system. Most of the dots are within the average there. And so if you're installing to sell or anything like that, you have a good chance of being able to do this on a daily basis. Okay, so I just ran through this because persons don't seem to be hearing me properly. I post this on Moodle and post the assignments as well. I hope to do that later today. Any questions?
Miss, you'll post both.
Pardon?
You'll post both the assignments?
Yes, I'm doing both of them.
Okay, miss, thank you.
Any questions from anyone? I don't know if persons were able to follow.
Excuse me, miss. Miss, I lately joined, miss. I not following, miss. Trying to do, miss.
Yeah, I know, but you came in very late.
Yeah, miss. Always you, miss. You know.
Okay, so any questions from anyone else? Okay, so since we're finishing early, how many persons are going to graduation tomorrow?
Me, miss. I don't miss.
Miss, let me roll going to miss.
You're not going?
No,
Okay.
miss. Miss, I had some issues, miss. Some personal issues, so that's the reason.
Miss,
Okay,
miss, are you like referring to who going and like participate or who going to be like graduating, miss?
can you explain to me what's the difference with participating and graduating?
I miss, but you know, like if somebody can kind of like
Okay, so the UG gives out prizes. There have been a few years when this faculty has gotten the valedictorian, but not this year. So within the last few years, it's become quite natural or evident that to become a valedictorian, you need 4.0. There are persons getting 4.0 GPA. So this year, 4 persons were vying for the valedictorian. 4 persons had gotten a perfect 4.0 over their 4 years. And so they had to go now to the raw scores to find out who was the real leader of them all. So I'm just sharing this. I know we've got some 4.0 students in our midst, so trusting that they could go all the way out, all the way with their 4.0, and we could get to valedictorian. But to note that among the prizes that they give, the Guyana, most of the prizes are for the bachelors, but the Guyana Association of Professional Engineers recognize the best associates in the faculty, not just electrical, in the entire faculty. And we've got 3 persons with 4.05 for this. So probably my recommendation is that they all get the prize. I don't know if they share the money, which normally isn't much. But just letting you know about some of what happens around graduation time. And they're normally prizes given to the best person who's contributing in sport, those who've contributed to, cultural activities, or those who've been participated in things like the Students Association, not just study alone, but done other things with their lives. So in technology, we're always not so, much with doing other things apart from studying. So apparently in the early days, the technology persons were good sports people as well. So we probably need to get back to that again. So seeing we're finishing early, just wanted to share
Miss,
those things.
we got open the campus, miss. You know,
Um,
move away from this online classes and attend the university.
all right, yeah, miss. Miss is saying it's a real pressure, miss. Miss,
It's really hard for, miss focus and everything, miss. Really hard, miss. Always, that kind of thing, miss.
So next semester, I'd like to have my class in person. Class is working, and that's going to be an issue again. So it's how to manage all these different things, which I think COVID brought on, because before we were in person and mostly persons were coming to classes. Okay, so that's all from me for today. Until Friday.
Okay, miss, you have a good one.
Yes,
Enjoy the
you too.
graduation.
All right, thank you.